2014's opening ceremony. After the athletes have left the village, the stadium descends into darkness. You see a light coming from the tunnel. Down the tunnel descends the Crankies. One is in a Shetland pony, the other is in a Clydesdale horse. They come into the centre circle to an open welcome from the stadium.
After the national anthem, there is an announcement to the audience to reach under their chairs and take out their Greg's lunch boxes, which contain a sausage roll, a can of iron brew, and a macaroon bar. We then start a big countdown in the stadium, which ends in a crescendo of cans opening.
Then we ask if there's a Jeannie McAdam or some such name and invite her down onto the pitch where we give her £100 of farm foods vouchers.
We then have a big laser light show that illuminates the sky. We see a searchlight, a bit like the one in Batman, picking up an RAF Hercules plane, flying over. It drops a big massive haggis right onto the pitch.
As the haggis floats safely down on its parachute, the song Nothing Ever Happens by Delamitri is playing.
The chorus of this song is then a cue for all the extras from Braveheart and Rob Roy to charge onto the pitch shouting, Glasgow! They then use their claymores to cut the giant haggis into bite-sized portions.
We will then have Boy Scouts and Brownies hand out bit-sized pieces of the haggis to all the assembled athletes.
Then a personal friend of mine, Darius, will sing a medley of Scottish songs. As he sings Travis, Why Does It Always Rain on Me, we see a fountain of iron brew, a bit like the Bellagio style in Vegas. Bellagio style dancing fountain comes up from the pitch and sprays iron brew. It also fills a makeshift river on the racetrack. At this point, a scale model of the QE2, possibly made of macaroons, sails into view for everyone to see.
And when the QE2 berths, it unloads whiskey barrels onto the dockside, symbolising Glasgow's trading history. Then we have a procession of Scots inventors and pioneers, all lookalikes. They walk down the gangplank onto the dockside.
The running track is then filled with hundreds of mobility scooters covered in tartan. This is then followed by OAPs pulling tartan trolleys behind them. Then we have local characters that will be taps aft, weather permitting. After that, we'll have a procession of shell suits from 1980 right up until the present day, modelled by prisoners from the day release programme.
Then, onto the running track comes hundreds of Celtic and Rangers supporters, like a gang scene in Greece. They stalk and skulk around the stadium and a meeting in the middle. And just when a mass brawl seems inevitable, the Proclaimers are brought in on a sedan chair carried by Partick Thistle fans, all singing 500 miles. This is a cue for all of the fans to hug and dance in unison and not fight.
The Proclaimers then leave the pitch, the lights come down and then the big laser show starts. Man melt into the stage and play their greatest hits, including Scotland the Rave. As they do, the fireworks go off. Then all the lights come on blind and it's like the end of a Glasgow party.
At this point, a flotilla of Mother's Pride flatbed lorries filled with corned beef sandwiches enters the stadium with people dressed as Tunnocks tea cakes, launching the sandwiches into the crowd while shouting, "No, they've all got butter on them."
Then the stadium announcer says, "That's your taxi outside," and people filter out of the stadium. Show over.